Hello, everybody, and welcome to the season finale of Star Trek Lower Decks, Ups and Downs. And oh my god, we have Marcus back with us again this week. Marcus.
Oh my god. What an episode. What an end to this season. Hey, I can't wait to get into this today, Sean. I felt like there were loads of Easter eggs. I felt like there was loads of action. There was story. This had everything. I can't wait to get stuck into this today. I can't wait to look into the ups and downs of the season finale of Lower Decks season 1.
You look, straight in, as you said, welcome to Ups and Downs for Star Trek Lower Decks. So, straight in, and the episode is called No Small Parts, and I think that's a great sum up for everyone in this episode because everybody gets something to do and nobody has a small role in this episode.
Oh, totally, man. I mean, we are about to see all hands on deck, excuse the pun, but I reckon that's definitely what happens in this episode, Sean. I mean, it kicks off with a nice throwback to TOS, which it's just quite a nice way to end the season finale of some fresh new Trek content with the team heading over to Planet Beta 3, I believe, and harks back to a original season episode where we have a fake god called Landru who tricks the natives of the planet into behaving in a number of, should we just say, weird ways. I'm going to put it lightly. I don't want to get too stuck into that TOS episode, but at the end of it, I remember Kirk using logic to destroy their god robot. And what's happened by the time in between then and now is the crew of the Cerritos have headed down there and everybody's forgotten what Kirk's done years ago. And they've gone back to worshipping this crazy, faux god, really, isn't it? Because he's just a robot which is running on wonky logic.
That's it. They've gone back. They have the red hour back again. And it's such a good kind of
red hour. Sorry, that was it. That was the purge, yeah. Basically. That was the purge before the purge.
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. That for me is like the central message of the whole show. It's second contact. It's Starfleet is not a one and done. And for me, that isn't up.
That's a big up. And also, before we move on, super quick, isn't that interesting now that we found a whole new way to explore these planets afterwards? So they've shown us that we can dive further into the canon and there's shows upon shows where we can revisit all of these first contact planets with second contact. So yeah, it's a very interesting way of cracking that one wide open in terms of being able to write loads of extra content that's true to the canon, but takes a story in a different direction.
That's it, because you see how people interact with Kirk or how they interact with Picard, and it's always a different kind of situation, whereas they've got over the initial shock of, oh, the mighty Federation is here.
Yeah.
Now it's so what are you gonna do for us, lads?
Yeah, exactly. What's happening? That's great. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have that, and obviously the crew get off the planet. But Mariner and Boimler are left planet side, and Freeman finds out that this is the case. Obviously, she's told by one of bridge crew that there's a couple of staff still on the planet. So Boimler has used this opportunity, being planet side with Mariner, to kind of sneak up beside her. And is she breaking the Prime Directive by handing out crayons and art stuff to the?
I'm not sure, because we've done the first contacting already. They've already changed everything with getting them to not believe in Landru. So I think she's okay on that one. For Mariner, I think she's okay on that one.
Yeah, for Mariner, she's cool. But really, she shouldn't be there, right? But Boimler comes along and starts being like, oh, I'm going to help out. And we found out very quickly that, as we found out at the end of the last episode, Boimler knows that Freeman is Mariner's mother. So he comes over and uses the Captain Mummy line that Sean and I have coined a few episodes ago in Ups and Downs, and also, pretty much, long story short, tries to blackmail Mariner into helping to push him up through the ranks, because that's what he wants to do. Little does he know that his comm badge is on, and the whole bridge learns that Freeman is Mariner's mum, and also everybody learns that Boimler's trying to do a little bit of blackmail there. It's a little bit cheeky. And mid-blackmail, they get beamed right onto the bridge of the Cerritos, which I think is a great cold open to the episode. Wicked cold open.
So good, so good. And it sums up what we've been waiting for the whole season, which is when is everyone going to find out about their relationship. And also Boimler's, he's kind of got in over his head this time with his trying to suck up and, you know, get ahead and everything. It's like, nah, you done messed up, Boimler. Brilliant.
Did mess up indeed. And then this is where things start to get they go a little bit ski-whiff when we start to get some danger in here. I'll let you take this over, Sean, because I know I love the way you describe these kind of things.
So this is good, right? Because this is, so the USS Solvang, so it's another city in California. What is left? But so the USS Solvang is, they guess, this is Captain Dayton, who we had previously met from the USS Rubidoo, which was also destroyed. Bit of a theme with Dayton because these aliens, as yet unknown aliens, arrive. They try and grab the ship. She tries to warp out of there, and it explodes, killing the entire crew. And this is something we haven't seen in Lower Decks yet. Any kind of real menace in the galaxy. Anything that's like, oh, we've got to face this. And it doesn't go Picard/Discovery dark. It's dark, of course, but no darker than, say, Next Generation was. And that scene gets an up from me, because there we have our drama straight away for the episode. Yeah. We know we need to come and find out what's going on and if they can rescue any of the crew. Spoiler.
Exactly. Yeah, spoiler. Exactly. Yeah, and it's a great point that Sean, you've brought this up a few times. That this is a trick that they've used in Trek over the years. Is when you see a ship that's of exactly the same class as, I'm going to call, the protagonist ship or the 4 leading ship of the series. When you see an exact copy of the ship being destroyed very quickly, it reeks of kind of the vibe where you're thinking, well, if that can happen to a ship that's just like our Enterprise or our Voyager or Cerritos in this example, is for this example, then what's going to happen to our main crew when they obviously come across these baddies? So yeah, it gives you a sense of being concerned for Mariner and Captain Freeman and Boimler and co straight away, which is a great trick. And Sean's pointed this out to me. It's a very good trick that Trek used, and it's great that they used it here as well.
No, it is. It's a real there but for the grace of God kind of message behind these things. And you know, they are ordered to go and find out the cause of the distress call, and we will address it there but for the grace of God. But we go back to much lighter material now. We go back to the Cerritos, and secret's out. Everyone knows Mariner is Freeman's daughter, and suddenly Mariner becomes the most popular person on the ship. Yeah,
everyone playing suck up. Everyone from Shax to obviously, well, Boimler's there actually still relentless, asking her to sign contracts. Basically, everybody wants a piece of Mariner in kind of getting on her good side, and she hates it. She doesn't want it. That's the whole point. They kept this secret, was that she didn't want any special treatment. She wanted to just get on and not be noticed at all. And she kind of realizes that maybe the best way out of this, the easiest way out of this, would be to get a transfer to another ship. And this is very interesting because she realizes the only way she's going to get a transfer is by smartening up her game, rolling down those sleeves that she always has rolled up, and acting like a proper officer. And this rubs Boimler up the wrong way because he wants to progress, and he realizes Mariner, plus the love that she's got for her mum being Captain Freeman, trying hard, means that he ain't going to get that promotion. That's all he wants. That's his purpose in life. So that rubs him up the wrong way. Great scene with Ransom when they both run up to him and they try and talk to him about trying to get promotion, and he literally weighs it up while he's at the gym. And he doesn't know. He spells it out. He's like, look, Mariner, Captain's mum, Boimler, spotless record. I can't choose. I need to finish working out. So that's all happening at the same time.
That's true. And actually, Ransom gets easily the most adult joke of the entire season. I was not expecting this scene in Freeman's ready room. I was not expecting this. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we need to say it back, but like,
Oh, it's a wicked. It's one of the double entendre scenes they've had in Lower Decks about him getting hard when he needs to. I can get hard. I mean, I can get hard when I need to. It's a great joke. I'm not going to ruin it. Watch it. Great piece of writing.
Great delivery as well. Jerry O'Connell has absolutely smashed it as Ransom this season. But particularly, he gets some fantastic lines in this episode. They take on some new crew, don't they?
Yes, they do. They take on some new crew, including an ensign that is a sentient robot.
Yes, one of the exocomps from.
Yes,
I want to say Quality of Life.
Yes,
that episode of TNG.
Yes, that's it.
They've got somewhat of an upgrade because this one is a hovering, talking member of Starfleet.
Yeah. So basically, everything that you'd have from a sentient life form, just in a very rudimentary looking box, which kind of, I think it gives it a sort of charm, because Tendi is obviously tasked with looking after this, at the moment, unnamed robot, and taking her under her wing and kind of bringing her up to speed, which is a cute little bit of light-hearted content, which we needed. We needed this in this episode because after that dark patch, it was a nice little touch. And then we find out that, I mean, can we jump straight to the naming? Can we get to that bit? Should we get to that now, Sean? Or?
I think we should. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she decides to name herself. And she searches through all of the languages that she has access to on a database. She decides to call herself Peanut Hamper, which is brilliant. Great. I love it. It's
brilliant. And of course, Tendi loves it as well, because Tendi loves everything. And it's brilliant. And she's so excited for it. And we get, initially, they are the same person. Yeah. One is an Orion, one is an Exocomp, but they are both this upbeat, loving life. Just science ensign on the Cerritos, and in the background you've got it's played really small for like half the episode. Rutherford is rushing through these different settings on his implant as well. So in the background he's talking like he's from a Western, he's in sexy mode, he's in super optimistic mode, which I just took to be just Rutherford.
Rutherford mode. That's normal mode for him. Yeah. It is. So that's happening in the background. Yeah, because he's fiddling with his implants a lot, and we kind of learn that his implants, great writing again. His implants help to mold his personality in a certain way, and that will come back to that as well, because that actually just clicked with me, Sean, as well. That bit of writing, because they put that there for a reason. So that happens, and then we find out that Peanut Hamper is actually quite good when it comes to working in the medical bay. She's amazing, and she's creating she's got some new technology that even the doctor wants to learn from. So you got an ensign teaching the doctor some new tricks, which is amazing. And obviously this is all kind of continued, the arguments with Boimler and Mariner. Tendi kind of feeling a little bit intimidated sometimes, but also kind of taking a bit of credit, saying, hey, look, this, I'm got Peanut Hamper under my wing and she's doing all right. And all this is happening as the Cerritos is answering to a distress call from said destroyed ship. And this is where things get a little bit sticky. But we do get some legacy races as well, though.
Yes, we do. So the Cerritos, it's beautiful. So they drop out of warp, and we get what I'm pretty sure is a really nice callback to J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 2009. Yeah. They warp straight into the debris field. Which I really, really like that, because there's been little nods to the Kelvin universe dipped in throughout this series. Way back we had the guns from the Kelvin Klingons, and all the way up here at the start. So I think this episode does a really good job of bringing all of the different canons and franchise branches together. So I'm actually really, I'm giving that one an up as well, because I want more love for the Kelvin universe. But then, yes, we get hailed by these alien feckers who are, as you're 100% the Packleds, and who are these guys? They're just the scavengers of the galaxy. But what happens when you leave a scavenger unchecked? They continue to scavenge, and there's like 30 different aliens worth of weapons on this ship now. I got kind of a Riemann scimitar vibe off this vessel.
Yeah, 100%. And like the Packleads, just to clarify, they're always seen as a very simple race, and they speak in a very simple manner. And apparently, even Data says he's surprised, in TNG that they even managed to, get into space and be able to travel around in ships. But their whole thing is they like it, they nick it, they put it on their ship, and their whole goal is to steal everything. And they are still quite simple in some ways, because they presume every ship is the Enterprise, and
I love that.
they're like, oh, another Enterprise. We're like, no, we're a different ship. Oh, another Enterprise. Yeah. So they are very dangerous, and they, to the point where they already destroyed one ship. Luckily, Captain Freeman realizes not to try and go to warp, shuts down the ship's engines, but the Cerritos is in massive disrepair. It's been pulled apart. They lose in a cell, I believe.
Yep,
and
they do.
And things are effed up. So Freeman turns to Mariner and says, we need a Mariner special. We need a super half-assed crazy plan stat. And that's where Mariner decides, right, okay, what we need to destroy this ship is we're not going to destroy it with superior weapons. We need a virus, and we need to deliver that virus on board. And then we need to, let it do its thing. And that's the only way we're going to survive. And this is where we get a reintroduction of one of our favorite characters. Because Rutherford's like, I know the perfect solution to kill this, the perfect solution for creating a virus. And that is our good old mate, Badgie.
Badgie's back. Chris slapping up in there straight away. We love Badgie. And even with the safety protocols on, Badgie is still Badgie. He's just like, you gotta turn them safety protocols off. Yeah, you gotta let me do my thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we let him get to work. I mean, he's already got 3 viruses ready, because he's always listening, which just is scary. Rutherford gets the virus, and then there's a quick scene where I think it's Tendi works out, we need a small robotic device to travel over to the Packlead ship, deliver it, and then we're all good. And they all turn to Peanut Hamper and say, well, you're perfect to do it. And Peanut Hamper goes, nah, I'm not being that sacrificial lamb. There. Yeah, she notes out there, warps herself out of there, gives him a little flip, and then heads out. So luckily, Rutherford steps up to deliver, and our man Shax, I just want to say, comes into a whole league of his own, because he is... I was to say speechless. I wasn't, because I was like, oh my god. But Shax delivers Rutherford to the Packlead ship in the most glorious way. He he blows a hole in the Cerritos, flies a shuttle out of there, is dipping around photon torpedoes or weapons of these 30 different weapons that get fired at them, and absolutely is. I just found him getting to the Packlead ship was just a glorious moment in the episode. I feel like it was him in his prime.
As he says himself, it's his best day ever. And unfortunately, in a very fitting way, his best day ever is his last day ever.
It's a Klingon best day ever, I'd say. Yeah, it's a good day to die. They get on the ship, they deliver the virus, but Badgie tells Rutherford that he's only going to release the virus if Rutherford agrees to basically kill himself. So it's Rutherford's advice for the delivery of the virus. Rutherford agrees, and Shax rips out his implants, and this is quite graphic, rips out his implants and then throws Rutherford onto a shuttle, and then obviously it's a cartoon, so this is where we allow it, punches the shuttle, pushes the shuttle off the Packlead ship, and he dies as the ship blows up, and a severely wounded Rutherford heads back to the Cerritos. But that whole sequence was amazingly written. Sad to lose Shax, but he went out like an absolute warrior.
100%. Yeah, it was perfect. If this is the ending to his character, which, okay, it certainly seems to be, but if this is the end of his character, spot on. Absolutely spot on. Nailed it.
We didn't actually see him die, though, did we, Sean? We just saw the ship explode, but we didn't... You know how it works, isn't it? Unless you see them die in TV, they could always come back.
And hey, we all watched Tasha die, and how many times did she come back? So... Dead.
I've never seen someone's daughter look just like their mum, but anyway, let's keep it.
I know, right? Yeah.
If they're the same person. Yeah.
Cerritos is left in some fairly dire straits, and then the next thing we have 3 more pack-led vessels just warp out of nowhere, and things are looking really, really grim, and I'm already smiling because they see on the systems that another ship is warping in. For the first time ever, we get the Titan canonized on screen, designed by Seán Tarango. Got to get a shout out there. Just up, Chris, up. Amazing. Because the Titan's been teased a couple of times throughout Lower Decks, but they come in, all systems firing. We have Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis returning to the roles. It is everything we wanted it to be.
Yeah, it was glorious. They come in and they save the day. We get the quips from Riker that we really want. And this, I want to say, this is how you give us a character and make it a lovely surprise. So I'm going to be a little bit negative here. Again, you know, I moaned a little bit about Q, the way they delivered Q to us. It was like they hyped us up and gave us a couple of scenes. I wasn't happy. The way they delivered us Riker was absolutely amazing. And yeah, it was what a fitting end. And not only that, you see him drop a couple of lines saying, "Oh, Mariner, I think we're even now." So not only do they tie him in, not only do they introduce him into canons, they tie him in. So we now have a solid tie-in between TNG and Lower Decks, and we discussed this at the start of the season between us. You know, before I was brought into the show, but I should. That, you know, how is Lower Decks gonna fit in within the timeline? We now know where Lower Decks fits in. It is solidly within Trek canon. This isn't another universe which we're struggling to tie in. It is slap bang in. So I loved it, man. It was really great. It's really good to see relationships crossing over between these animated characters and these TNG characters as well. It's awesome. That's
it. And Joe, I'm going to put in a cheeky another up.
Yes,
the TNG theme playing over the entire scene. Just,
yeah.
I mean, I fanboyed hard, but it fit at the same time. It fit the episode. Like, was it gratuitous? Of course it was gratuitous, but it's exactly what we needed as well.
I'm down for that.
Fantastic. You know, they save the Cerritos, they get them back to, I think it's Douglas Station again. We have Ransom being called straight up by Deanna Troi because she can sense his bravado is covering up his deep insecurities. And of course he answers with, wait, can other Betazoid women find it out? Because I can make that work for me. And we get what is a bittersweet, but on the more sweet side of Rutherford and Tendi. Rutherford has lost all of his memories with the implant, and he doesn't know who Tendi is. He doesn't remember anything, but he still keeps that optimism, that joy. And of course, Tendi goes, "Oh my God, we get to become best friends all over again," and it's just lovely.
It is, and that kind of harks back to that quick bit of writing where he's trying to mess with his personality, and I think it's kind of us thinking, you know, how much of Rutherford is Rutherford and how much is he his implants, and we found out that yes, his memory and his perfect recall is his implants, but he very much is Rutherford with or without his implants in. So that's just a lovely, nice way of tying that all in as well. So I think that's a beautiful ending to Rutherford's season, as well as, I mean, Lower Decks managing to have an episode where they tie in the Kelvin timeline, the original series, the Next Generation, and also, I know you're going to hit this in the Easter eggs, there's a lovely tie-in to our Enterprise as well, which is class.
I like it or love it. These Are the Voyages exists, and we have the final scene where, you know, Riker just pops up from the holodeck where he spent a bit of time watching the first Enterprise and Captain Archer, and he mentions that they did have a long road getting from there to here, and it's just like brilliant. Again, yeah. I'm being very generous with the ups today. That's another up.
Can I be an arsehole and ask for it? Whoops. Can I be a whoop and ask for another up as well? I want an up.
Yes,
I want an up in there as well. Let's throw an extra one in there. Yeah, and if you disagree with me in the comments, feel free to have at me because I want to put one in there. You know what? I was really happy, and I'm expecting a season 2. I'd be so surprised if there wasn't right now. And I just want to say, like, massive thank you to, and it's not just Mike, but Mike and the whole team over there that made sure that they gave us a series that was true to canon, funny, and packed full of new content as well. It's so hard to do that, and it's so hard to keep everyone happy. And, you know, to be fair, if you get everybody angry in your first season when you've got a new area of Trek, then you're kind of doing the right thing historically, because nobody's ever liked the first season of a new Trek series anyway.
Yep, absolutely agree. Yep, there's always, you know, it's divisive in its nature. That's absolutely fine. That keeps people talking. That's great. You know, I think awesome. This is potentially one of the strongest first series of any Star Trek since the original series.
Yeah, I'd say that. I mean, they put in a lot of work, and you can tell, you know, they put a lot of work to make sure that it's accurate, but also entertaining and fresh. And obviously, before we end as well, Boimler gets his transfer to the Titan, and Mariner thinks he's a bit of a bum for doing that. It's quite upset with him. And also, I noticed that Riker calls Boimler Boomler as well. So I hope that continues in further series as well. That was a little one. After all that work to kind of get on the radar, the captain, so Riker calls him Boomler. But yes, and then also Mariner and Freeman agree to kind of use each other's positions, with Freeman being, you know, a captain, and Mariner being able to get the job done in the future to help them get the best out of the Federation, because they realize the Federation's failings are the fact that right at the start of this episode, for example, they'll come, do first contact, and then will they do their due diligence and check up on people and make sure that everything's going all right? No, because the Federation kind of expects you to be as good as them. You know, oh, we told you once, you know, you should know. So very interesting, critique of Starfleet, and also a very nice kind of pondering moment, making me think about how their relationship will continue in season 2. I'm going to shut up now because I realize this is an extra long episode, but I feel like it deserved it, Sean.
I think so. For a season finale with so much in it did. Speaking of so much in it, I'm going to fly through very, very quickly some Easter eggs. I mean, obviously, wherever you look in this one, there was. Landru, they literally name drop TOS. Freeman looks at Ransom and says, what is TOS? You know, those original scientists. Wolf 359 was an inside job. What a line. What a line. There was no Dominion War, and the Changelings never existed. So exocomping itself, Titan, also the uniform, the 2370s uniform. And this is something that is an Easter egg, I think, to Discovery, because you've Discovery and the Enterprise, you've two different styles of uniform completely, same as Cerritos and the Titan, two different styles of uniform completely. One of Mariner's last lines is she's so angry with Boimler that he's taken the transfer that if she finds him, she's going to feed him to an Armus, which I thought was brilliant. And look, the entire thing with These Are the Voyages, getting from there to here, and Riker's engage is a jazz countdown, and 5 and 4 and 3 2 1. Oh, brilliant. Just brilliant. Lovely
stuff. What a pleasure to watch, man. Like I keep saying, season 2, I'm ready for it. And also we've got some new Trek on the way as well, in the form of Discovery season 3 to fill our boots with. So I feel like I'm all energized. I'm ready for more new Trek this year. We've been real treated in 2020 with regards to the amount of Trek content that we've been given. It's fresh and new.
Yes, we have. But for now, that's going to bring us to the end of this season. So for Star Trek Lower Decks, that's a wrap up. Marcus, thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun. Making the world feel a lot smaller by being together in this. Speaking of, Marcus, where can people find you if they want to reach out?
On all social medias at Marcus Bronzy, MarcusBronzy. I also have a tech podcast called How to Kill an Hour. Find that wherever you listen to your pods.
And absolutely do this, because it's awesome. Everybody, please let us know what you thought in the comments to this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm sure there's probably some stuff, there was so much in this episode that we might have missed. I have been Seán Ferrick. You can catch me over on Twitter at either at the @TrekCulture handle or at Seán Ferrick. See you potentially for a series for Star Trek Discovery. Who knows? But in the meantime, guys, have an amazing week, and thank you so much for joining us. Cheers.
Oh, there we go.